Hey there, friends. Have you ever gone on a long trip? Maybe you got on a plane or a train or just buckled up in your car and went off. Well, today I have a story for you from the Bible about a long trip. Except it was by foot and with animals. And these people didn't know where they were going. Now, who would do that? Well, I'm glad you asked. The Magi did this. The word Magi comes from the word magician. But these Magi's don't put on magic shows like people you might know or seen on TV. They don't make rabbits disappear from hats. Instead, these Magi, they studied the stars. This story begins with a group of Magi noticing a new star in the sky. Like that one. They knew this meant a very special king had been born, and they wanted to go worship him. So they packed their bags, mounted their animals, and followed this star. While we don't know exactly how long this trip was, really smart people guess that it took them about 8 to 10 months to travel the 100 million billion trillion miles from Persia to Bethlehem. When the Magi finally got there, they went to the palace. They thought the new king would be born in the palace. But there was no baby at the palace. Come on, you thought that too? To their surprise, the star kept moving. It led the Magi to where Mary, Joseph, and Jesus were. When they saw the child, they got down on their knees and gave him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. They worshiped this new king, then returned home a different way. Now that you've heard the story, I want you to imagine the story. When the next video begins, you might notice there's no words. That's on purpose. Your challenge is to imagine what these people might have said. Are you ready? Get set. Let's go. Now that you have both heard and imagined this story, I have 3 questions for you. First, why did the Magi go on a long trip? Think about it and tell someone. Did you figure it out? Remember, they noticed a new star in the sky. They knew a new king had been born. They wanted to worship this new king. Okay, ready for the next question? Where did the Magi think they would find this new king? Do you remember? They went to a palace. If you said palace, that's correct. Now for the last question. Who did the star lead the Magi to? If you know this next answer, then you'll do great in Sunday school throughout your life. The new star led them to Jesus. Good job, you got that correct. The Bible teaches us that the Magi took a long, long trip to search for the new king. They wanted to worship King Jesus. To end our time together, check out this song. As you listen, imagine that long, long trip. And feel free to sing along.
Story and believed with all your heart that he'd announce a brand new king with fireworks display. And if the star would shine so bright and beckon you to call, would you pack up your suitcase and head out on that day? It's gonna be a long, long trip, no telling where this journey ends. On a camel, anywhere you go feels far. It's gonna be a long, long trip. Good thing you're traveling with your friends. And the shepherd king waits under that great star. Knowing that you would leave behind familiar places in your life and risking all your credibility. They might say you lost your marbles and say that you're a fool, but would you be brave and live what you believe? It's gonna be a long, long trip, no telling where this journey ends. On a camel, anywhere you go feels far. It's gonna be a long, long trip. Good thing you're traveling with your friends. And the shepherd king waits under that great star. When you arrive in Bethlehem to find a baby king, he might not be the king you thought you'd see. You believed along the way that God's master plan is true, and he's made a perfect way to set his people free. It's gonna be a long, long trip, no telling where this journey ends. His kingdom is revealed to all who see. It's gonna be a long, long trip. Good thing you're traveling with your friends. And the king that you have searched for is here to rescue all. It's gonna be a long, long trip. No telling where this journey ends. His kingdom is revealed to all who see. It's gonna be a long, long trip. Good thing you're traveling with your friends. The king that you have searched for is here to rescue. Oh, 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 oh. The king that you have searched for is here to rescue.